Lee here from Northern Washington. Lee, you are on the air.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening. Hi, what would you like to talk to us about?
Well, I've been reading Alpha Dog, Alpha God.
Alpha God,
Yes, okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Hector Garcia's book that we spoke about on the show about a month ago. Anybody who hasn't read it, go back to that episode and then go buy the book, or maybe not in that order.
And then come back here.
Then come back here. Great, go on, Lee.
Yeah, and so it talks a lot about one of the things that's brought up against non-cisgendered females, and that's menstruation. And so it goes on, since the book is about God. You know, I was wondering, Megan, if that's ever been something that you experienced,
Menstruation?
and if you would mind talking about it.
Whether I've experienced menstruation?
No, the shame that religion puts on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, going out into the shame tent and
gotcha.
being
Yes. Even in the modern world, I can say yes, there is a certain amount of so there's from the women in your life, there is you have met this landmark in the journey of life. You have become a woman, right? But from all of the men in the world, it is an ew. Oh my God, don't come near me. Don't let me, don't have sex with me. Don't touch me. Don't do this. Don't do that. Oh my God, you're on your period. Ooh, get away from me. Oh, don't let me see your, whatever tissue or whatever, whatever it is. Yes, there's kind of a dichotomy there between what all the females in the world will tell you about, it's this great thing and it's a rite of passage. But then the other half of the world is telling you that you are disgusting and gross and to get away.
I mean, can I just point out how many guests we've had here at the ACA Library who have commented to me specifically as a cis male how great it is that our bathroom is stocked with pads
feminine
and tampons.
products.
Yeah, just how meaningful and significant that feels to so many people that come in here as strangers, that they feel the need to thank me or comment to me as if I have any role in it. But it is nice to be a part of an organization that doesn't have that shame that's so prevalent in so many other places.
And I will say, being one of the few females in the movement, it was actually funny because there was a day where, none of the males noticed that we were running low on feminine products. And I said, hey guys, whoever does another run to the store needs to go get some more of this. And they were like, oh my God, really? They're actually being used? And I was like, yes, they're actually being used. Go figure. When you put them out there, they get used because it's half of the population.
It's like we don't want to talk about them in our culture at all.
Yeah.
And
it's like a taboo to talk about it or to think about it. And then when you are on your period, it's
oh God, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you don't.
That's if you even go outside.
Right.
Because, because then, she's just on her period.
Yeah, being all moody and
You know what? Yeah, if you were bleeding from your crotch for 7 days out of the month, you'd be freaking moody too. But not to mention it comes with a whole host of other things. But, past that, it becomes a joke. And we see that in modern culture too.
Yeah, it's definitely a punchline.
It is a punchline. And which is sad considering that it affects, a good half the population.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky. I personally would love to be lucky enough to not have a period, but alas, I was born with female parts. So, yeah.
Even on the commercials where they're trying to sell us
feminine products,
these pads and tampons and stuff, they're like, here,
discreet.
have the lovely blue liquid that just looks absolutely nothing like what comes out.
They won't even show like a red liquid because
they won't
it's
even
too. It's
make it red.
Yeah. I mean, get a little real, would you? And maybe, you know, make it a little thicker, be more realistic. It's not water. Come on.
Put some lumps in there for Christ's sake.
No shit.
Yeah, you know what? Shame on me for my reaction. Shit. I'd actually love to hear from some of our more international viewers. More international, that feels very strange to say.
Our international
viewers, because I, here in America, can't imagine going to a bathroom that wasn't thoroughly stocked with toilet paper, soap, paper towels. They're like just some basic things that we assume are going to be there. And any type of feminine project does not make that list at all.
Right. And I will say there have been times where I personally have been in a feminine product emergency, gone in somewhere, and how ridiculous is it that you don't have to pay for the use of toilet paper, but you have to pay in a coin slot, which, by the way, doesn't always work, for the cheapest, most shitty-ass...
They're so bad.
Feminine product. Like, you've seen this shit, and it's like the most ridiculous... anyway, yes. So to answer your question, yes, I have felt the shame and the pressures that our society puts on females who have menstruation cycles, and all of the fun, fun things that go along with it.
I read an enlightening article not too long ago. It was called, let's see, Men That Have Periods and Women Who Don't. Have you read the article or heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It sounds good, though.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that it said about trans men and their experience of restrooms is during their menstruation. And the fear that they go through, you know, and not even having a place to dispose of it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So thank you for telling me about the restrooms there. I mean, I don't know if you unisexed them or you just put them in both bathrooms or...
There's only one.
Yeah, we just have we dream on a budget here at the ACA. We have just the one toilet.
Single toilet in the single restroom in the building. Yeah. So it's, I suppose you could call it a unisex restroom.
Yeah. But that's honestly not a question I've really ever thought about, is the struggles of a trans man having access to even, you know, a trash can. We don't think about that. We don't make really allowances for that.
So what are you going to do, spit your gum out while you're on the toilet?
Yeah, well, and no wonder there are so many problems with people flushing those things. And I mean, I'm not a plumber. That's a whole different conversation. But I think I'd love to take a look at that article and maybe even put that in the footnotes to this episode. So, Lee, if you could maybe send us an email, or if anybody else
put it
could,
in the chat.
Yeah, get that to us. We are sex@atheist-community.org. I'd love to take a look and see what you're on about.
Job. You did it.
I know. Now if I stop and reward myself, then I make it worse next time.
Sorry, Lee, we're commenting on how Christy got the email address right.
After they talked about the trans men experience in the article, they talked about trans women experience. And the person in the article, I believe, was from Thailand or something like that, because they mentioned that when they could afford to buy feminine product, that one of the ways that they felt closer to their femininity was by wearing one. And went on to say that even putting red food color or something in it so that they would have that experience also. So it's quite enlightening.
I hear that. Yeah. I mean, as a cis male, I always sort of understood that having a period was just a terrible, unfortunate thing that some people had to deal with, and that they just sort of struggled through, or whether it was a big deal or a small deal, it was a problem. And to my shame, I mean, I think I was 26, 27 before I was with a partner who expressed to me that, you know, she wasn't on medications to get rid of it for a very intentional reason, that it was a big part of her love of herself. It made her feel connected to her body. It was part of her feminine identity, and it was something she really valued and would hate to give up. And, you know, I know that there are women who don't feel that way, but I also want to respect and really appreciate the beauty of women who really value their period.
Yeah, for some people, the period is a really big deal. It's a really big part of you know, they've learned that their adulthood and their sexuality comes through this.
And I mean, when we think about women, what is one of the biggest distinguishing features of being a woman? It's that you bleed once.
Getting harassed. Right.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, but yeah, that you know, have this menstruation every month. So, Leah, I hope that helps. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah. So I've read Julian Sereno's book. I can't remember the name of it. But up until 2 years ago, I couldn't tell you what a trans exclusionary radical feminist was.
Oh, you lucky person.
Yep.
Because you weren't on Twitter, huh?
And so anyway, and trying to, you know, understand, because that's my goal, is understanding other people, you know, and so I get along better in life. From their perspective, I don't understand why they can't see me as a non-cisgendered female. But I run into it in the bathrooms, you know, where women are more threatening than the men I meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, bathrooms are terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any insight there? I mean, what makes them so ferocious?
We take our
Dogma?
pants off. We take our pants off in close proximity to other people, and we have been taught that is a bad thing, taking, you know, being disrobed or unclothed in some way near another person that you are not romantically or intimately familiar with.
I mean, I'll venture a theory, if I may, which is that women feel unsafe in our society just all the goddamn time.
Oh, yeah.
From the threat of sexual violence. And
or just
even,
violence.
Yes, absolutely. But it's heavily gendered often. And while that's not...
One of the things...
Yeah, it's not appropriate in that context to be afraid of a trans woman who's going to the bathroom in the stall next to you. It's not relevant. It's not statistically significant. It's not important. But it's just a way for all of that pent-up fear and anger that has nowhere else to go to find an outlet that is at least somewhat socially desirable and selected for and is rewarded in large swaths of our society.
We've been told by, you know, the people that we grew up with, by the religions that surrounded us, by the culture that we're in, by, to be topical, the movies that we've watched and the shows that we've watched all of our lives, that trans women are men playing dress up in order to deceive us. And
often psychotic or violent.
Oh, yeah.
People in playing dress up.
Sometimes murderers or,
well, always
that are dressed to kill or,
always for a nefarious purpose.
Yeah. And
this is
Norman
what
Bates
Sereno says in her book, and one of the things that we're all pathetics, or we're all deceivers. But the other thing that was really, really hurtful that was something that I guess that is thrust upon us is the idea that we're penetrating their space.
Yeah, I hear that.
I mean, it's a space where we normally expect to be safe, right? Which from men. So if we're being told that these are nefarious men, then naturally there's going to be some to get out.
Confusion. Yeah. Well,
thank you.
Yeah,
and one last thing. Serafina, I was wondering, I get excellent medical care here.
Good.
Considering, you know, I have Obamacare. My spouse has Medicare, and she travels 100 miles to see an endocrinologist. How's the medical there in your area?
Depends where you are employed.
Yeah, it's going to depend heavily on your situation. Happily, in Austin, we do have some like specialized clinics that help. I'm going to give a shout out to the Kind Clinic.
I was about to do the same. Yeah, Kind Clinic's a great organization
that provide low cost services specifically for LGBT individuals. A lot of it's specifically trans care, and it's wonderful. But largely, it's gonna very much depend on your employment because for whatever stupid reason, we've decided that medical care should be linked to your employment. I'm lucky. I work for an employer that has amazing benefits, and so I don't have to worry about that so much. But I know that a lot of people have troubles with it.
Oh, thank you for your answer.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah, and please, if you are able to find that article or maybe remember the title of that book, I'd love to check them out. Please feel free to shoot us an email, and I'll make sure to include that in the footnotes for the episode.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great night. Appreciate you calling in.
All right.